Hey, Knicks fans, welcome back. Just wanted to give my opinion on how I think the Knicks are going to do this year in terms of what record they're going to have and whether or not they advance in the to the second round of the playoffs. Just wanted to talk about if they advance in the second round, how they can do that, and what's the easiest route to getting past the first round of the playoffs. And so, right off the back, do think the Knicks are going to win 50 games. The reason why I think that is because of the coach we have. Thibodeau's the kind of coach that prepares his players. He doesn't like to lose, and so we are going to snatch a lot of wins during the regular season. And also, I think if we do that, that helps us in the playoffs because if we're top three seed in the East, that means we're basically facing a lower caliber playoff team in the first round. And so I think that's what we want to aim for. Especially, we want to be able to ease into the playoffs this year, at least with a weaker team, especially given the performance that we had last year. Not just by Julius Randle, but basically the whole team. Derrick Rose was essentially the only person who showed up last year, but and he's basically he's got rusty wheels, right? And so we struggled last year, and the reason why we really struggled in the playoffs last year was because of our offense. The offensive rating for Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett was way too low. Believe it or not, even during the regular season, both of their offensive rating was a little lower than you would expect. Julius Randle, his offensive rating in the regular season was about 111. Wasn't terrible, but it wasn't that great either. And his defensive rating was about 107, which was one of the top ratings in the league. So he did very well on the defensive end, but on the offensive end, he could have been more efficient. Now overall, he shot about 46% from the field, about 41% from the 3 point line. So 3 point shooting is not Julius Randle's issue, but his issue is essentially his mid range game, how he approaches the game from the mid range. He essentially shoots around 43% between 3 feet and 16 feet, which is slightly below the league average. However, if you're basically going to be the number one option on a playoff team, you definitely want to shoot that mid range at a more high clip. It'll be nice if you can get it more around 40, 46, 47% instead of around 43%. And if he can do that, I think that will help improve his efficiency. The other thing that really would help improve his efficiency is actually getting more shots at the basket. He actually finishes around 67% from at the rim. So finishing at the rim is not an issue for Julius Randle, but what we would like to see to make the offense run a lot smoother and also for him to have a much better season is for him to take more shots at the rim. Even if the shots he's taking at the rim is in traffic and if it's with hands in his face. If you actually look at a lot of the game tape from last year, most of the time he drove to the basket or he was finishing in the paint. There's usually multiple defenders there, and he's just able to find a way to muscle it through. And so I do think the Knicks should make a better effort to try to get him more shots at the rim because he's actually a great finisher at the rim, even with a hand in his face. So I think that's how basically he can improve his efficiency, offensive efficiency rating, and improve his net contribution to the team. If he can get that rating around 117, I think that'll be really good. And I think then you can see the Knicks actually become a more formidable team if he can improve his offensive efficiency. If he can get it up to like 117. Now with R.J. Barrett, he has quite a bit to for him to work on. Well, actually, let me restate that. R.J. Barrett has a really good 3 point shot, and it's actually it would not. It's not basically the first thing I would have ever thought about. If you told me we were drafting R.J. Barrett, I would not have thought like 3 years later, 3 years into the league, he would have been one of the best shooters, one of the best 3 point shooters in the league. But here we are. That's what we have with R.J. Barrett. He's one of the league leaders in percentage in 3 point shooting. But however, where he struggles at is actually, as we all know, is finishing at the rim. And that actually does impact his true shooting and also his efficiency offensive rating. If you look at RJ's advanced stats last year, his defensive rating was at 111, which is pretty solid, but his offensive rating was only around 105. And so he was actually a net negative when he was on the floor with the Knicks last year. And so that's something he definitely wants to improve. He wants to improve. If he can get his offense this year, if he can get his offensive rating to like a 112, Hopefully, gets into maybe a net two or something like that, a net two rating. I think that'd be really good for the team as well. And so that's just what I think. That's the only way I can see us making it past the first round, especially if we end up being like, let's say, a 4 or 5 seed. Julius Randle and RJ Barrett would have to really start playing more efficiently on the offensive end as we get into the playoffs. But if that doesn't happen, then we really need to bust our humps during the regular season, win a lot of games, and try to be top three in the East. So that way we can ease into the playoffs and give these guys the confidence they need with maybe an easy series. And so that's just what I think. That's how I think the Knicks can actually make it. How I think they can make it past the first round of postseason. Again, I think they win over 50 games because of the kind of coach we have and the preparation and how hard he coaches the guys and how hard we play. So I think we snatch a lot of wins in the regular season. Hopefully, become top three in the East and get an easy first round matchup. And so that's pretty much it. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. Feel free to comment below. I'll be more than happy to respond. Thank you so much.